Receiving an offer for a lower seniority position is a situation that many engineers who are on the job market are facing. How should you navigate that situation? Is that an immediate no? Or is there an opportunity to be seen there? In this video, I will try to cover my thought process and offer a step-by-step evaluation guide on how you can evaluate any role regardless of the seniority and maybe make the right decision. I will also share my personal experience with how I dealt with similar situation in my career, and I will offer my thoughts on when this is an immediate no. Okay, let's go. So the thought process I want to share with you will check about the scope of the role, the pay of the role, and the access of opportunity in that role. When we're talking about the scope, I want to also talk about the interview process for the role itself. The reason for receiving a lower seniority offer might have to do exactly with the scope of the role within that company. For example, a senior engineer in a company A may have responsibilities to, for example, do grade codes or hand it over into professional services team. I'm keeping it simple just for the sake of the example. And then in company B, a senior engineer may be expected to create architectural designs, evaluate their feasibility, liaise with stakeholders, participate in customer meetings, deploy software to production, support it during on-call, and so on, the list goes on. There's also the different expectations in terms of what technical leadership is expected at different levels, or whether there's any people leadership involvement and things like this. So understanding the scope of that role or title within the company that you're applying is going to give you a very good indication as to what or why you are offered that role. And in situations where the scope is similar to what you had in the current role, or is even better, this might actually be a great opportunity to take this role. Let's move on to the pay aspect of the evaluation. The pay is very important. When you are looking at your new role and new offer, you can always compare the pay to what you have right now or other offers. At this point of time, the title of the role is important, but the pay figure is actually going to be much clearer indicator as to whether this is an improvement or not so much on what you have right now. An interesting aspect to consider here when people are offered a lower seniority role with a better pay could be that once people take that role, if they progress to the next level in the new company, they could even further improve their financial situation. Okay, let's move on to the access of opportunity and the access of that role. What I mean by this is understanding whether the role itself and the title that you are being offered has any limitations and restrictions as to what you can do within that company. For example, in some organizations, the hardest problems or the system design requirements and other very interesting aspects are only reserved to people with certain roles, like architects, for example, or staff engineers. And the engineers that are working at lower levels are not usually given opportunities to participate or contribute to items like this. There are other companies where the level and the role or the title doesn't really matter or doesn't block people from participating and contributing to such activities, so long as they're happy to take the challenge and do the work. So if the role is not blocking you from doing things that you like or you want to be better at, well, this might be a good opportunity. Okay, let's talk from my perspective and my personal experience on how I approach this situation. I have moved from a staff level plus into a senior position. In my personal situation, all of the three aspects that I mentioned above were definitely an improvement on what I had previously. So making that choice was informed and easy. Let's talk about when this is a definite no. To my opinion, taking a role at lower seniority is a definite no when neither of the three items that I mentioned above, the scope of the role, the pay of the role, and the access of opportunity within that role are met. And the other aspect is the personal happiness and the personal peace of the person that is taking the role. If you are not going to feel happy with yourself with accepting a role at a lower seniority, and you know that you're going to be looking for new opportunities while you're employed in that position, this is probably a definite no at this point of time, and there could be other opportunities soon if you stay on the market. Okay, let's conclude. Receiving an offer for a lower seniority position shouldn't lead to an immediate no on your behalf. Evaluating the role by its scope, pay, and access can help you make an informed decision and potentially find opportunity where others may just see roadblocks. On the other hand, accepting an offer for a lower seniority that doesn't improve anything on your current role is probably an immediate no.